Face fronts, true believers! The grimy city breathes in the midnight air. The moon hangs high over the infested city as the shadows move and the dirt rives in the jagged buildings of Gotham City, with the sounds of what life there is ringing out into the inky night. A new sound roars through the streets, a swiftly striking shadow dancing through the night. The tanking machine of the Batmobile, seeing its occupant through the night, the dark night. The Batman! It's a quiet night tonight, Alfred. I'll be home early. Excellent, sir. Dinner has just been prepared. Never mind. A silent alarm's been triggered in the financial district. Oh, very well, sir. Lobster Thermidor for the microwave it is. As Batman rides once more for justice, we turn to the underbelly of Gotham. The crime families of Gotham, once so proud and distinguished, once sitting atop the kingdom they had carved for themselves, have now been reduced and splintered by infighting, by tragedy, by pressure, and by the Batman. All that remains are the small handfuls held by such figures as Rupert Thorne, Roland Daggett, and Sophia Falcone. Fellow crime bosses of Gotham, it is my unfortunate honour to inform you all that we are dying. Our businesses are collectively failing. We no longer hold the control we once did on this city. Agreed. These days, it's all costumes and gimmicks and freaks and masks, including the Batman. Yes, which is why I have a proposition. For too long we would exist as rivals, as enemies, picking away at each other, leaving ourselves vulnerable to these lunatics. Which is why I suggest we pool our resources, work together, unite to take back this city, our kingdom, from these fools. An interesting proposition. Where would we begin? First, by delegating a leading force. We cannot abide split loyalties. And that leader would be you, Thorne. Ridiculous. My family has controlled Gotham long before any of you were a thought. If anyone here is to lead it, it should be me. You're hardly the controlling force you once were. That was your father. I hold the most land in Gotham. By rights, I shall control it. As the free resort to arguing and bitter rivalries reignite, a smoking pumpkin drops and bounces on the table in between them, before exploding and enshrouding them all in gas. Well, it seems some children just can't play nice with each other. It's a good thing your new king is here. And who would you be? I am the Green Goblin, and I have come to lead you all. As what? Another freak in a mask? We all wear masks, Thorny, and it's time for you to match with the times. Your Goblin King will lead you back to the high standings you so crave. And how would you do that? We return to the Batman as he surveys the crime scene of a jewelry robbery. The diamond was extracted using a glass cutter, carefully and cleanly. The silent alarm, however, was triggered, indicating someone who hadn't fully cased the scene. They're skilled, but an amateur. Security footage will reveal more. As Batman leaves to once more enter the Batmobile, he notices the sound of gunshots in the distance and a plume of smoke. You best remember your protection money next time. Yeah, this city belongs to the Goblin now. Come on, get in the car. Batman arrives on the scene. It's the freaking Bat! The three begin to shoot their firearms indiscriminately towards the Batman, who dodges and flees behind cover before throwing a score of batarangs that lodge in the thug's arms and guns. One draws a knife as he makes to attack, but Batman catches his arm, throwing him into the nearby getaway car. Clutching the wound on his arm, the third drives away as the second tries to run on foot. Batman projects his grappling line out, catching the thug on the back and sending him flying towards the Cape Crusader, who clotheslines the hoodlum, sending him to the floor. Hard. Still conscious, Batman takes the mask off of the assailant, pressing his heavy boot down on the thug's chest. Who are you working for? I ain't no squealer! I ain't telling you nothing! Yes, you will. As Batman looms over the trapped thug, we later find Oswald Cobblepot enjoying an evening drink in his luxurious penthouse. That is, until he turns to find a shadow behind him. Enjoying your freedom? It is amazing what technicalities lawyers can find, and I think you'll find my business dealings are all quite legitimate these days. I'm not here for your club. I want information. I assume you're referring to this new mover on the board. Well, I could tell you what I know, as he grabs his nearby cane. Or I could not. As a concealed blade shoots out of the end of the cane, Cobblepot makes to strike at Batman, who casually knocks the cane out of Cobblepot's hands and throws him towards the full-body window, shattering the window as he forces Cobblepot through, holding him over the side. Why don't we have a talk? Just like old times. No need for this brutish antics. I'll tell you, he's not been in Gotham long. Apparently he comes from New York, throwing his weight around like some ruffian. Perhaps you two are related. Give me a name. Goblin! He calls himself the Goblin! He's recruiting the bosses of Gotham, calling himself the new king! You can find him at the Falcone residence. He seems to have taken it over. Batman throws him back into the penthouse. Thanks. You're going to need a new window. Batman returns out into the night, as Penguin nurses his now sore neck. Why do I bother staying in this wretched city? The next morning, Bruce Wayne finds himself at Wayne Enterprises, preparing his meeting with a potential collaborator, as in walks renowned businessman, Norman Osborn. Mr. Osborn, welcome to Gotham. Thank you. I must say, it does have its own charm. I imagine a different one from New York. Yes and no. I can't see, however, why your family built their business here, where not everything is about business, depending on the project. Which leads us to this one. I think your R&D division, mixed with my biochemists, could really make something. I don't disagree, but perhaps we should talk application. Won't that depend on the product? Generally. But I've been looking at your previous contracts. A lot of military-grade stuff. Big movers demand big money. But this is not the military, Norman. I understand the needs of business, but any collaborations need to weigh as the needs of people, not the needs of war. War builds science. How else do you explain the movement of nuclear power? Is that how you justified the release of waste materials in the Hudson? You like to do your homework. I don't like dirty deals. This is my condition to working with your company. Why not stay in Gotham for a few days and think it over? As they exit Bruce's office, they find a young man sitting passively outside. Sit up straight, Harry. Show Mr. Wayne some respect. Not to worry. How are you, young man? Good, thanks. Harry is here touring Gotham University's campus. That is, if he gets in with his grades. One of my sons is a student at Gotham U. Why don't I give you his number? Perhaps you could ask him more about the school. That would be great. Thanks, Mr. Wayne. Not a problem. Mr. Osborn, I hope to see you again. Later that night, once more in the Batmobile, Batman drives through the streets of Gotham, joined by Red Robin. So this goblin wants a slice of Gotham by taking slices from the other bosses, extorting them for a cut of their profits, and in return offering protection. Protection from us? Send a mask to catch a mask, huh? The cartels are a breaking point. Desperate people do desperate things. So we're paying the Falcones a visit? I am. I need you to follow up on some evidence. The masks the thugs wore last night had traces of certain chemicals of them. So I need to find the distributors and their source. Cool. I get all the fun jobs. The footwork is the core of detective work, Robin. I know. As the pair split off to their own missions, we turn to the Osborns in their high-end apartment, a building which caters to only the best. But Norman Osborn does not want the best. He wants more. That brat Wayne. He thinks he can hold the keys to the kingdom. He's sitting on a gold mine with his research and development department, lording over us all, having us play his game. Reflected in the window, he looks out at his dark other, the Goblin. Ah! You forget, Osborn! We are the ones with the real power. Punks like that rich Wayne can grovel to us after we take what's ours. We must be careful. We don't want it to be traced back to us. Who cares? The only way to win is to have an edge. We don't ask to win. We take what's ours. A cut of Gotham. And New York. An empire of Osborn. Yes! A goblin empire! Harry quietly knocks before entering the room. Dad? Who are you talking to? What is it, Harry? Can you not see I'm busy? Sorry. I just thought... Don't apologize, boy. Do you have a spine or not? You're an Osborn. Never apologize for it. I have to go out. There is business I must attend to. Oh. Okay. The Falcone residence is silent as Batman enters. No guards, no noise, no attendants. You would not believe the Roman once lived here. Now it seems the goblin has taken refuge. Batman silently stalks towards the main office, a sliver of light inching out of the slightly ajar door. He enters to see the back of the large armchair turned towards the door. Batman creeps further in, turning the chair around, only to find a dead Sophia Falcone, a pumpkin bomb strapped to her limp body. The door suddenly shuts and bolts itself as bars enclose the windows. A trap.
We finally meet Batman. More gullible than I would have thought. It almost makes me laugh at how easy it was to take this dirt-ridden city. Every organized criminal and gangster reduced to nothing by you. Oh well, a shame to end the game so quickly, but big movers demand big bangs.
As he sets the switch to blow the building, Batman quickly grabs the heavy oak desk, setting it against the wall, with himself sheltering behind it, to weather the coming storm. As the building suddenly blows, engulfing in flame and burning masses, the goblin can only laugh at the bonfire as the Falcone residence goes up in flames. Getting to his glider, the goblin surveys what remains, looking for Batman's broken body.
Almost a shame. That was a lovely little building, but progress demands sacrifice. Besides, it can't be that good if it blew up that easily. Just can't get good contractors these.
The goblin is intercepted as a grappling line shoots forth from the smoke, latching onto the glider as out of the ash sprouts a tarnished but very alive Batman. He tackles the goblin off the glider as both fall to the ground. Batman's cape aids the bat's safe descent, while the goblin falls into the smoke. Batman looks for the goblin through the smoke, but then a pumpkin bomb suddenly flies towards the Dark Knight. As he jumps out of the path, he gets out a batarang, making ready for a clear target. Another pumpkin bomb as the goblin comes running out of the smoke. The Batman throws the batarang at the oncoming bomb, making it explode in midair, bursting light out to both parties, momentarily blinding them.
Cute trick, but you'll find I can do it too.
The Green Goblin throws a set of bat-shaped shuriken at Batman, who dodges the projectiles as the goblin once more claims his glider, flying high into the air. Using the higher ground to level the scene in more bombs, Batman evades the impact of the pumpkins as he throws a bolas at the cackling goblin. As the villain is about to throw another bomb, the rope binds around his arm, holding the pumpkin bomb in place as it detonates in the goblin's hand, sending him back down to the ground. Regaining himself quickly, the goblin throws another shuriken at Batman's head, but the Dark Knight catches it. Shrouded in darkness, he throws gas bombs around the scrambling goblin.
Smoke and shadows, is that all you've got?
Batman looms out of the smoke, swiftly punching the goblin in the face before disappearing into the smoke, appearing again to kick the goblin in the leg before combo punching the villain. The two become locked in a wrestling lock. As the two test their strength, the goblin proves stronger, but Batman faints as he knees the goblin in the chin, following with an uppercut. The goblin tries to send shocks of energy out to the goblin, but Batman catches his wrist, slipping the glove off the rogue's hand, knockout punching the goblin as the smoke clears. Just as Red Robin arrives on the scene. I saw the explosions. You got him? Same height and build. He pulls off the mask. Norman Osborn. Always the captains of industry. Contact Commissioner Gordon and have an officer sent to his son. The boy will need support.
Leave my son out of this!
The goblin lets loose a flare bomb as he struggles free of Batman's grip, finding his glider once more and flying away without a trace. Later, once more in the Batcave, Osborn's holdings have been seized. Oscorp has closed ranks while they try to save their stocks. Will that mean the R&D deal is off? He wanted portions of Gotham, both industrial and underground, fill the space the cartels had left. Such a vacuum would inevitably be filled. I had considered that a factor before those supervillains and lunatics, when the mob was Gotham's biggest problem. Just got off the phone with Harry. He's taking things as well as someone can, given all this. A dreadful business. Seeing one's father for a monster, and it's not over yet. Without resources, he'll be desperate, cornered. There's no telling what he'll do next. Finally, we find the goblin in a disused and condemned warehouse.
Well, well, they want to remove all of Norman Osborn. And that is just what they get. You want to take off my mask? Well, two can play at that game, Dark Knight, and the goblin plays for keeps.